Hi everybody, welcome back to Hairstyles by Taz. We're going to be using our black control, or African black control, black gel edge glue. That is my favorite thing to use when I'm braiding hair. It allows you to grip the short hair really easily. So what I've done is I've added that to the back of the nape of the neck. And I also have my braiding tray over here where you see that I'm going to actually feed some braids in. So we're going to give the illusion of single braids with this crochet all around the perimeter so that if our client wants to pull her hair up in a ponytail, you won't see that row of crochets. Okay, so that's basically what it does. It just gives the illusion of having single braids and not being a crochet. The first thing you want to do is separate your parts and be really particular about how you part. Make sure that your parts are really straight because these parts will be seen. So you want to make sure your parts are straight so that it looks like, you actually braided the client's hair instead of crocheted it. All right, I'm not going to do a lot of talking. This basically is just watch and go. I'm going to speed this video up for you guys after we complete a couple of rows so that you're not sitting here all day watching this video. Basically, it's a tutorial to show you just how to do single braids for crochet and how to intertwine them together so that it looks like it's single braids in the back. I will show you the entire video, so stay tuned and just watch. Okay, so I slowed the video down a little bit for you all so you could kind of see what I was doing as far as the feed-in. Although this is not a video about feed-in, I slowed it down just so you could take a peek. If you don't know how to do feed-in braids, you might want to go on YouTube and find a video that just does feed-in braids and shows you how that's done. Okay, so we're moving on. Okay, so as you can see, that gel really helped me to grip onto that hair. I am using feed-in hair for these braids. You don't have to braid all the way to the end since you're going to keep connecting them as you go up. So you can add rubber bands to the end so that you can, it saves on time. You don't have to braid the braid all the way down to the end. Okay, so all I'm doing is going around the perimeter, adding single braids, and then connecting them to the next braid right here. You can have your client hold on to that first braid right at the very base of it so that as you braid up, it won't pull so tight. So that's why I have my client holding on to the base of that first braid. Here I'm just adding a little bit more of that edge control, and I'm going in with my small rubber band and I'm connecting those two together with the rubber band just where the hair is loose, not on the braid, so that it doesn't unravel. Okay, so I braid the first braid into the second braid, and then after I braid the second braid, I go ahead on and put a rubber band at the end, and I continue to do that as I go up. Okay, so as you can see, I braided all the way to the top and I just continued to make little boxes, connect the braids to each other till I got to the crown of the head and then added the rubber bands. Now we will start our crochet. Okay, so one thing that I could have done better, and I don't want you all to make this mistake. So you want to feed in the hair like you're doing maybe small box braids instead of the more hair that I used. Looks like I was using for large box braids. So feed in less hair, and then when you get to the part where I'm showing you now, where you connect all those braids to the cornrow won't be so thick. I am so sorry, y'all. I do not know what is going on with this camera. It keeps going in and out of focus, so bear with me on this. But as you see, I'm taking that very last braid when I get to the crown of the head. I'm taking the last braid on each one of the rows and I'm feeding them into the corn row. So I'm picking up the braids and feeding them into the corn row. Okay, so I've taken the braids all from the back and from the sides and I fed it into the corn row at the crown, which will be the traditional crochet. I did, as you can see in the front, I made 3 single braids in the front as well. If she wants to pull her hair back in the front, she has the singles too. I normally do 2 rows in the front for singles, and connect those to the next braid, put a rubber band in, and then after the second row of braids in the front, I will add all of that to the corn row as well. Okay, so right here, I'm just going around with the cornrow, connecting all the loose braids as I go. And you kind of know where to put them as you're corn rolling. You don't want them as you're corn rolling. Sorry, not corn rolling. But as you're corn rolling, you know where to put those braids at so that they're not too far to the left or to the right, that they come straight back. And just continue to do your corn roll all the way to the other side. So just like I picked up those singles on the left side, now I'm going to pick them up on the right side. So I'm just going around the circle and picking the ends of the single braids up and attaching them or adding them into the corn row that is going to be going around in a circle like a beehive at the very top of the head.
Okay, let's go.
In a circle. If there's any extra hair left, you want to just add it into that corn row. Just use your discernment as to how you want to tuck that in. You can also use your crochet needle and tuck in anything that's left after you finished your braiding. Okay, so I'm going to continue with that braid and go all the way around. And now I'm adding the left out hair from the front, from the sides. I'm just going to put it all up into that corn row.
Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24-karat magic in the air.
Okay, so all done. We're going to go ahead on and use our crochet needle to just tuck the end of that braid and the excess hair through the crochet. And once we get that done, I'll come back and we'll start on our install. All right, at this point, you can use a net for the crown of the head or the actual spaces at the crown of the head where the beehive is, or you could use the excess hair and bridge it across that section to give you an actual anchor for your braids going through that circle. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to go ahead on and sew down these braids because I did not braid her hair really tightly. I'm just going to sew these braids down so that the cornrows don't become too loose and her braids are, falling out. So this is just a technique that I like to use. I'm also going to go through that circle, through the beehive at the crown, and you can also use the thread as anchor as well. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to use the thread as an anchor. So I will be putting hair or pre-looped hair onto that thread, and that will act as my net. So anywhere where you see there may be gaps, go ahead on and use your thread to bridge those cornrows together. And as you're using the thread, you can use that as a place to put your braids as well, so that the client doesn't have to wear a cap, which is, sometimes really hot, especially if your clients are active and work out. So this is just an alternative method. You're going to go through each one of the individual braids with your pre-looped crochet and just make a knot like you would if you were doing it on a cornrow. You're just doing it in single boxes now. Okay, so now you see the client can pull her hair up in the back, on the sides, and also in the front if she cares to.
Okay, let's go.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe so I can bring you more videos like this one. God bless.